He's on the set. This is none other than South African Minister of Finance, Enock Godongwana. Did I get it right?
You got it right.
Thank you very much indeed. First of all, I must appreciate, I love this. This is very wonderful.
That's why I asked, do you want me with it or without it?
It's okay. It's fine. So first of all, I want to hear from you. You represent the Republic of South Africa in this meeting, South Africa being one of the largest economies in Africa. What are you expecting out of this meeting?
First and foremost, let's just contextualize what the meeting is about. For more than 4 or 5 decades, the World Bank created an institute called International Development Agency, whose focus is to assist particularly low-income countries with concessional financing. So it has been existent for years.
For 60 years, actually.
Yeah, it's being replenished. It has got all its phases of replenishment. There's another phase for replenishment now. President Ruto is asked to be the champion of mobilizing that replenishment. That's why we're here today. It's the launch of that championship of replenishment.
Yesterday, you sat down as ministers of finance from Africa in order for you to develop what is going to be referred to as the Nairobi Declaration on the aspirations of the continent. Would you give us an idea of some of the issues that you raised and the way forward?
Look, the critical issue is how do we strengthen how do we mobilize more resources from and make sure we can, given the challenges we're facing, the critical issue is how do we mobilize those resources. In addition to that, how do we, as Africa, coordinate our voice and speak with one voice on this matter? So critically, those are the messages that are emerging.
That you discussed yesterday.
Yeah.
As South Africa, you have been a major beneficiary of IDA assistance, throughout the years. And you have somehow graduated into almost becoming a donor. What lessons is South Africa offering to African countries on how, to transition?
We have been a donor since 1975. We've never been a beneficiary.
Precisely.
We've never been a beneficiary, so we've not graduated at all. We've been a donor. So I've never been a beneficiary. But let me just say, to us, when we're not classifying only ourselves as a donor, we're also classifying us as proudly Africans who must make sure that the African economies develop. But by the way, it's mutual beneficial. If these countries, if you look at our trade with Kenya now and look at our trade with other countries, these relations are mutually beneficial. A growth in each of these economies benefit all of us.
There has been a clarion call by different voices that it is high time that we really looked at the global financial architecture and look at areas on how we can reform these institutions. Do you think this is part of that process?
Yes, it is part of that process. But a key debate is how the major institutions, including the Bretton Woods institutions, are structured. That's the first set of issues, is how to make sure that there's the financing mechanism of those institutions talk to the development needs of our nations. So that's the major, for me, the financial architecture to make sense, we've got to restructure. First, we're facing climate change, we're facing adaptation, we're facing mitigation. 600 million people on the African continent do not have electricity. That on its own is an important challenge.
That is 50% of the population.
Yeah. So we need to say how even electrifying these things is a growth-enhancing transformation and funding. By the way, it does not necessarily mean that it can be financed via that. We've proved in South Africa that you can bring independent power producers who you simply buy electricity from them. So the investment can be done by the private sector.
South Africa is a member and a founding member of the BRICS.
Yeah.
And we have seen a situation whereby the BRICS is now expanding to include more countries. And, you know, to some quarters, there is an argument that BRICS is likely to be the future of the future model of lending to developing countries. Are there lessons that South Africa can take from BRICS to IDA?
I will give an example. One of the things we do in BRICS, we created the National Development Bank, which is, some people call it BRICS Bank. One of the key things we've emphasized in the BRICS Bank is that they must try and use local markets and lend in local currencies. An example, they've just raised some money in the South African markets and provided a loan of about 1.5 billion rand in South African rands, which protects us against currency fluctuations.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is high time that, you know, part of reforming the global financial architecture, that we allowed countries to borrow in their own currency.
Precisely, because that protects yourself against currency fluctuations. We've made it as a standard in South Africa. We'll never have our ratio, the maximum is 85-15. In other words, our borrowings that are denominated in foreign currency cannot exceed 15%.
15%.
1.5.
So 85% of your loans
Yeah.
is rand denominated. How can this happen without creating a narrative of de-dollarization?
It's not a narrative of dollarization. Let me just tell you this thing. I mean, there are a couple of things we need to despair. If you look in the SACU region, Botswana, and including now, you can include Zimbabwe, these countries mostly trade amongst themselves in their own currency, including the rand. The rand is the most traded, is the most used currency
in Southern Africa.
In Southern Africa, it's not the dollar. There's a myth which is coming up that even BRICS is talking about de-dollarization. You're not going to find a single document of BRICS talking about de-dollarization. We're talking about local currencies.
Local currencies.
Local currencies.
And when you look at the East African community, I mean, which is one of the most integrated regional development institutions in Africa, are there lessons that we can learn from the Southern African countries when it comes to trading in their local currencies? Because when you look at the region, I mean, we still trade a lot in foreign currencies.
Yeah, I think that's where the danger is. There's no reason that people in Tanzania or Uganda can't use a Kenyan shilling. There's no reason in South Africa, I mean, there's no reason for that. Using their own currencies, trading amongst themselves. If you pay the products you import from Tanzania, you can pay them in their currency, or you can pay them in Kenyan shillings. There's no reason why you can't do that.
It's going to happen. So at the end of the day, once you know, the dust is settled, what should we look forward for after this meeting?
After this meeting, let me just say, first today. Today, the heads of state will adopt a declaration, which would have been recommended by the ministers of finance, because we've been working with IDA, even in the World Bank and so on. So as people who have been involved in this thing, we've crafted a recommendation to our heads of state. So the heads of state will adopt that declaration. Beyond that, what is going to be necessary is how do we, all of us, hit the ground, mobilizing resources to ensure that IDA has got better resources and sufficient resources to attend to the development challenges of our nations.
Very good. Enock Godongwana, thank you very much indeed for joining us
Thank
on
you.
KBC Channel 1 and, of course, for sharing your insights with us.
Thank you very much.
We'll see you around.
So,
Yes, very good. I mean, Enock Godongwana is the Minister for Finance in the Republic of South Africa, joining us here at the Kenyatta International Convention Center, where the IDA 21 is currently underway. I can confirm that President William Ruto, among other presidents from the African continent, they're already here, as well as the World Bank President Ajay Banga. And of course, we shall be getting in and listening to what is exactly happening, plus more. We're keeping an eye on what's happening here, and of course, we'll be giving you up-to-date updates, and of course, giving you more analysis. My name is O'Brien Kimani. Back to your broadcasting house.